Alright guys, we're going to be working Bunkai's 21 through 30. They come out of Naihanchi Ni and Naihanchi Sanda. Naihanchi Ni and Naihanchi Sanda.
Naihanchi Nidan. Technique number 1. Defense against a two-handed grab/push from the front. Double knuckle.
So on the double knuckle strike, you're actually just kind of learning how to do this collapse in. Earlier when you would receive into you with a cat stance. You're now learning how to tip your hip back by doing your toes pointing into each other and your knees pointing to each other, which is called a samchi. You can't see that, but it's like an hourglass. And your hip's going to go back, and you're going to be striking up like that. So you're actually going to collapse away, strike. And then you're going to be doing, if you're strike, you can do a hammer, a knife, and a punch. And you'll be varying them. So you're going to learn how to do this. You can hammer the cheek, chop the throat, punch the heart. Very straightforward.
Technique number 2. Defense against a two-handed grab/bear hug from the rear. Tall man.
So on the tall man, you just got to remember how to do, like if you were doing a knife hand strike, it would look like this. So you're same thing, you're going to do that same knuckle series, and then you're going to cross side grab elbow. Knuckle series, cross side grab elbow. Then all you need to remember to do is you got to throw him. So you do your little karate chop, but you're going to have his wrist. And when I lift it up, I'm going to step underneath it, put my leg in front of him, and throw him to the ground. Iron broom technique. Style.
So what do we got to do?
Technique number 3. Defense against a two-handed grab/bear hug from the rear. Short man.
So in the short man, I'm basically putting my shin against his knee, so it's really hard for him to step. I start the series the same. I block, I reach, I elbow, and then I'm going to take my hand, and remember in the pivot 270 technique you learned several techniques back, where you are blocking and then you're going to step punch and you're going to lock the guy's arm out. So you're pushing his wrist down when you're locking behind his elbow. So he's like, block like this, right? So the same series is going to apply here. You're going to go here, grab, elbow, and then you're going to pass your arm under his elbow up to his tricep. You can't reach it until you do your little turn that you learned way back when you did your cat stance line, like this. So I block, I grab, elbow, and then I go like this. I turn the hand around, and then I pivot my foot on the inside. I turn my toes all the way as I step, and I pull him over my shin to make a trip.
What I got to do is get a hold of this foot.
Technique number 4. Defense against a shoulder grab. Roll over elbow.
So on roll over elbow, this is the one where you're stepping in and turning to the side. And so earlier you had learned the one where you do the slap, grab, and you do the Naihanchi step here, reverse lock. Almost the same, but a little bit different here where you're going to be turning. So this one you're going to counter grab line. And as you come up, you're going to be bringing your elbow up, almost like your elbow striking, so that you can then grab over the top and use your elbow against his elbow. So you're going to crank his arm like this, right? So he's feeling his elbow drive out. And as you do your step, you're going to come into a sideways step. And as you do, your elbow's driving against his arm. This isn't really committed. You're going to take his hand, you're going to hiki-te. Remember, pull it across. So I get to here, I'm going to pull it across, and then my hand's going to come up. And that motion that I learned earlier, I learned how to do the throw, I'm going to do the same move. Whack!
Not everybody can have a noodle. It's just more.
Technique number 5. Defense against a one-handed push. Attempt to grab from the front. Iron broom.
So on iron broom, remember you did this move earlier? Instead of punching and then doing a throw, I'm going to do this move here, which is a very common move. We're going to Naihanchi step, and then you're going to step long. So you Naihanchi, boom, and then you're going to be turning. So Naihanchi kick just comes out of the horse riding stances. Naihanchi has you going across the front of the knee, whether you're passing square or you're passing forward. So I go here, I Naihanchi first, and then I'm going to step long, and I'm going to do my karate chop. I got his arm, and I'm going to do my throw. There we go.
Naihanchi Sandan. Technique number 6. Defense against a double push. Tiger strike.
Tiger strike is only hard because you're actually going to do 2 blocks. 1 going to the rear, and then 2 going to the front, and then unloading. The easiest way to teach this, if you're training in class with me, is that when I step back, if I'm blocking with my arm, so it's a right punch, I step back, I block. When he goes to throw the left punch, remember he's come close to me, but he's still a distance. Instead of him coming in, he's just going to punch. I'm going to attack him. So I'm in his base now. So I've gone away, and then I'm sneaking in. So I blocked that one. If I turn my hip, remember, I want you to keep the hip on one side. When I step back and my hip's pointed over there, I'm going to leave it over there so that when I step in, this block becomes a hammer to the groin. Then I'm going to unwind my feet by lifting my toe up before I pivot on my heel and go tiger strike to the face.
Technique number 7, defense against any wrist grab.
On this one, I like to show a few things. One of them is catching the watch. So if we do same side wrist grab, so in this case, right-handed guy grabs my wrist. If I want to get away from his left arm, I can do two ways. I can go under and up. So we learn how to karate chop both ways. I go up, and how I do that is I look at my watch. What time is it? So listen, I cover that up, and I slide to the side. That causes him to go up when he fingers like this. If it's the same one here and same move, I can go to the inside. I turn it up, look at my wristband, cover the outside this way, and then I can act and use the left hand is here. When you do cross hand, so his left hand's grabbing, this one is less effective because you're going into the punching hand as it is to do the same move where you're going to turn to the side of the wristband and cover. And then you can do a complication. Remember, it's left hand versus right.
Technique number 8, defense against a stomach punch. Smother, trap, and pull.
So earlier we did, if he punches with his right, I'm punching opposite and then stepping and throwing. That's what I'm going to throw. In a smother and trap, all you're doing is just stepping to the side. So you're basically taisabake, but you've learned how to pivot and stepping and pivot. So in this case, what we're going to do is if he's punching with the right, I'm going to punch with my same side left. And when I do, I'm going to cover and trap his hand and strike in his rib. Once it's there, I'm actually going to punch down into the rib or the hip as I grab his wrist. Remember, I'm outside the elbow, and I'm going to step and drive that thing in and put a wrist lock on by driving his elbow forward.
Technique number 9, defense against a shoulder grab. Sandan set.
On this one, I'm going to face this way here, sideways. On this one, you're going to be counter grabbing. Okay, and step, strike. Right? Counter grab. Step, strike. And as you go under this thing, you're going to pass under. Hammer. Strike over the top. So, boom, boom, set, down, hit.
Technique number 10, defense against a straight punch. No step sweep.
On this one, a little bit more difficult for you to understand the concept of this thing. You have to train it. Because you're going to block. And then I like to punch. But instead of stepping and setting up thing, we're going to do that. So I'm actually going to block. And you're not stepping. So what I want you to do is I want you to punch, and then I want you to rotate the shoulder over. So you're actually going to do hikite on the hand instead of pulling it in. Just rotate it over. So you block, right? That's your main primary move here. Is your block series, and then your strike push. And so you have to train it. So.